The other night, I was out having dinner with some friends, and one of them happens to be a doctor. We were all enjoying this amazing cheese platter, brie, cheddar, mozzarella, you name it. And right in the middle of the meal, he said something that completely blew my mind. He leaned in and said, "You know, eating the wrong kind of cheese can actually harm your heart and your circulation." I couldn't believe it. I mean, cheese is delicious, comforting, and honestly, I thought it was one of those things you didn't have to think too hard about. But the way he said it, it made me stop and think. So after dinner, I went home, started digging into the research, and I was shocked by what I found. There's so much more to cheese than I ever imagined. Some of it is great for your health, but some of it, not so much. Did you know that eating the wrong type of cheese could actually harm your heart and mess up your circulation? Yep, that creamy, delicious slice of cheese you love so much might not be as innocent as it looks. And no, I'm not just talking about calories or fat. There's a lot more to cheese than meets the eye. In this video, I'm going to share the surprising truth about which cheeses you should avoid if you care about keeping your blood flowing smoothly and your heart healthy. Trust me, some of these might shock you, especially if you're a cheese lover like me. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Wait, cheese is bad for my circulation? But it's so delicious. Don't worry, I'm not here to ruin cheese for you forever. This isn't one of those videos where I tell you to give it up completely. Because, let's be honest, who can live without a little cheese? But here's the deal. Not all cheeses are as innocent as they seem. Some can be surprisingly harmful to your heart and circulation, while others might even have some hidden benefits that most people don't know about. Did you know that some cheeses can actually protect your heart and even boost your gut health? Yep, cheese isn't all bad news. So, in the next few minutes, I'm going to break it all down for you. What to avoid, what to enjoy, and how to make smarter choices without feeling like you're missing out. Oh, and stick with me until the very end, because I've got a special bonus for you. A simple, delicious recipe featuring one of the healthiest cheeses for your circulation. You don't want to miss it. Before we jump in, let me ask you something. What's your favorite type of cheese? Brie, cheddar, mozzarella? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you're snacking on. All right, let's start by clearing up some of the confusion around cheese. I've heard so many people say things like, all cheese is bad for your heart, or you should avoid cheese if you want to stay healthy. But is that really true? Well, it's not that simple. Cheese is one of the most complex foods out there. It's packed with proteins, fats, vitamins, and even bioactive compounds that can either help or hurt your body, depending on the type of cheese and how much of it you eat. Here's something most people don't realize. Some cheeses, like aged varieties, are full of vitamin K2. This vitamin plays a crucial role in keeping calcium out of your arteries and putting it where it belongs, in your bones. In other words, certain cheeses might actually help your heart instead of harming it. Surprised? Don't worry, we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But here's the thing. Not all cheeses are created equal. Some cheeses can support your health, while others could be a sneaky culprit behind circulation problems and even heart disease. To make smarter choices, we need to understand what's inside cheese that can make such a big difference. Let's start with saturated fat. Cheese, especially the creamy, fatty kinds, is loaded with it. Too much saturated fat can raise your LDL cholesterol, aka the bad cholesterol, which can clog your arteries and make it harder for your blood to flow. And clogged arteries? That's a fast track to heart problems. But here's where it gets interesting. Studies show that consuming cheese in moderation doesn't seem to have the same harmful effect as other sources of saturated fat. In fact, Some cheeses may even have a neutral or slightly positive effect on cholesterol levels. So, like most things in life, it's all about balance. Next up, sodium. Some cheeses are absolute salt bombs. High sodium levels can raise your blood pressure, which puts extra strain on your heart and blood vessels. If you're eating a lot of salty cheeses, like feta or processed cheese slices, that could be a problem. But did you know that some cheeses, like fresh mozzarella, are naturally low in sodium? It's all about knowing which ones to choose. Another thing to watch out for is additives and preservatives. Processed cheeses, the ones you find in plastic-wrapped slices or cheese spreads, are often full of artificial ingredients, preservatives, and even trans fats. These don't just harm your heart, they can mess with your overall health. And let's not forget lactose and casein. If you're lactose intolerant or sensitive to casein, the primary protein in cheese, eating cheese can cause inflammation in your gut. And chronic inflammation? That's a major risk factor for heart disease and poor circulation. Now that we know what to watch out for, let's talk about some specific types of cheese you might want to avoid. Processed cheese is at the top of the list. This includes those individually wrapped cheese slices, cheese spreads, and even some shredded cheeses. They're often packed with sodium, artificial additives, and unhealthy fats. Definitely a no-go. And while we're at it, let's talk about American cheese. Sorry, but that bright yellow square isn't even real cheese. It's highly processed and loaded with unhealthy ingredients that can harm your heart. Cheeses like feta, halloumi, and even Parmesan can also be surprisingly salty. So if you're watching your blood pressure, it's a good idea to limit these. And finally, while high-fat cheeses like brie, camembert, and cream cheese are undeniably delicious, too much of them can contribute to cholesterol problems. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. There are plenty of cheeses that can be part of a heart-healthy diet. For starters, aged cheeses like Gouda, Camembert, and Grana Padano are rich in vitamin K2. Remember how we talked about keeping calcium out of your arteries? That's where these cheeses really shine. Cottage cheese is another great option. It's low in fat and high in protein. Just be mindful of the sodium content. Ricotta, made from whey, is lower in fat and easier to digest for most people. Goat cheese is a winner too. It's lower in lactose and easier on the stomach. Plus, it contains healthy fats. And fresh mozzarella, especially the kind made from buffalo milk, is lower in fat and sodium compared to other cheeses. Oh, and here's something really cool. Some fermented cheeses, like brie and camembert, contain probiotics that can actually benefit your gut health. And when your gut is happy, your heart is happy too. So, how can you enjoy cheese without worrying about your circulation? The key is moderation and choosing the right types. Stick to small portions. 1 to 2 servings a week is a good guideline. Always read labels and avoid cheeses with long ingredient lists and preservatives. Pair cheese with healthy foods, like adding it to a salad with leafy greens or pairing it with whole grain crackers. And whenever possible, choose aged or fermented cheeses. They tend to have more nutrients and fewer inflammatory compounds. All right, as promised, here's your special bonus. A quick and easy recipe using Grana Padano, one of the healthiest cheeses for circulation. This recipe is called Zesty Grana Salad, and it's packed with greens, olive oil, and just a sprinkle of this heart-healthy cheese. Here's what you'll need. 2 cups of mixed leafy greens, like kale, spinach, or arugula, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon juice, a handful of walnuts for some healthy fats, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of grated Grana Padano. To make it, just toss the greens with olive oil and lemon juice, Sprinkle the walnuts and cheese on top, and enjoy a simple, delicious salad that supports your circulation. Now tell me in the comments, what's one cheese you're going to switch to after watching this? Let's chat down below. Remember when we talked about vitamin K2? There's something about this vitamin that could impact your health in a surprising way. I'd really love for you to check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now. I'm sure it's going to help you. See you next time.